Does Kirby Smart, chat, drop it in there. Does Kirby Smart deserve $13 million a year? Does anybody deserve $13 million a year? But Kirby Smart got $13 million a year yesterday, Jeff. $130 million deal. The highest paid college football coach of all time. Where you at with that poll question? You think he deserves it?
Well, of course. I mean, if you win, you're consistently the number one program. We know how difficult it is today to deal with building a program with some of the transfer rules, the recruiting rules, the NIL stuff. I think if you make money, you win. Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
If I'm good at being a banker, and I'm gonna make a bunch of money. If I'm a good salesman, I'm gonna make a bunch of money. So yeah, absolutely.
Here's the difference. Smitty and I argue about this all the time. He thinks you're worth what they're willing to pay you. I think there's a difference between earn and worth. I just think there's a huge difference. He has earned it. He has 2 natties, pretty much a 1%er. Him, Dabo, and Nick, I believe. Pete Carroll's out of college, so and then Urban is out of college. So basically, those are the only 2 with multiple national championships left. Well, and Saban's gone. So I think that they're making him the trendsetter now, and he's probably going to be the coach that goes down as he reset the market. He's going to be the coach that reset the market, and now I wouldn't be surprised if the next coach next year. I wouldn't be surprised if Harbaugh, if he was at Michigan right now, would have renegotiated and been right on his ass. I wouldn't be surprised if that was coming down the pipe. So now I'm curious to see who the next big name guy is. Because I'm be honest, Jeff, I've had this conversation, Jeff. Really, who's worth that money? See, I don't believe any of them are.
That's what I was going to mention. I mean, the second highest salaried coach is Dabo Swinney, a guy who has not won the national title since 2018. Again, I think it works out. Do I think Dabo's worth 11.7? Not at this point, right? But
that's not even including perks, what they get on the side, private jet hours, golf course memberships. You don't even know. I've seen these contracts, bro. They're insane as far as what they get. Their agents write shit in that you wouldn't imagine. I know I've seen Urban's, and it's like, I want my friend that lives in Florida to be able to have access to my private jet when he wants. His best friend. So, people write shit in their contracts with these big schools like Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia. I'm not mad at it at all. But let's be clear. I don't know. Think about the guys making the money, all right? I'm going to keep Dabo in the market because he actually has 2. And he actually beat Nick Saban doing it. I believe he's earned the right to be in that conversation to have that money. Kirby's won 2 in the conference with Nick Saban. Believe he's deserved it. Earned it. But let me ask you, in this current landscape, without Urban Meyer, without Pete Carroll, who, and Nick Saban, and Harbaugh now, who is really worth this much money? Because if you look past Dabo, and let's just go north to where you are. And a good friend of mine, I've known this man a long, long time. I've had several titty bar engagements with him. We've shared many drinks. James Franklin is arguably one of the most sought-after coaches when he becomes available each and every year. He did do a hell of a job in Vanderbilt and turned that program. He was the coach in waiting years ago when him and I used to hang out quite often at Maryland for Ralph Friedgen when the coach in waiting thing was a big deal. And then he gets Vanderbilt. Then he gets Penn State. He replaces a Penn State coach in Bill O'Brien, who had to have the daunting task of replacing a program after Joe Paterno's soap dropping incident. Where are you at with the next guy? Because James Franklin, to me, has yet to win anything and has not even really been close. Okay?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, James Franklin is a guy who let's remember, I mean, Penn State has been a national power for decades. Okay. He comes in. What has he actually done? Right? He's never won the Big Ten. He's never won anything nationally. He has held the mantle and done what is status quo at Penn State for decades. And that's just the truth of the matter. He's never been able to beat Michigan. He's never been able to beat Ohio State. He has been what the kids would call mid coach. You look around the country, I think Kalen DeBoer, if he wins at Alabama, he'll be worth that type of money because he's taking on the mantle of a legend and he's been able to succeed. Because everyone's always said, oh, it's Nick Saban. Okay, can Kalen DeBoer do it? He has a ready-made program, the top one. You look at a guy like Steve Sarkisian down in Texas. I think he's a guy who has taken Texas down from kind of not the dumps, but kind of a laughability program to having success, getting to the Final Four. Dan Lanning as well. I think he's another name, but I think it's still a very questionable question in a way. I really can't answer it.
Like, here's the thing, like
down the road, baby.
And Lane and Sark are really good friends of mine. Like I think they're one of the two. Those two are the two best offensive minds in football. Here's the thing about it. They haven't yet to win anything. Number one. Number two, Dan Lanning, young, great on the upcoming. He has to win one. He's still very young in this business and has been under some great coaches in Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. He has to now win on his own for me to get that huge amount of money. Because I believe there's only two coaching right now that's actually won it multiple times. Willie Fritz, in my opinion, is the best football coach in America, but yet he's never been at a program that is even on a level to compete with those other schools. And now he's at Houston. We'll see what he gets done there. Yeah, but look at the things like Jimbo Fisher. Very, very, to me, he's underachiever. Huge underachiever. Mike Norvell of Florida State. I believe he has to win the ultimate prize to be put on that pedestal. If you go around the landscape of college football, I don't really see a lot of guys who have earned that big bag. Lincoln Riley definitely is one of the biggest underachievers out there and overrated guys out there. And there's a lot of those guys, by the way. A lot of those guys continue to get job after job after job in this country.
There's going to be a lot of people that will come in this chat today and say that Deion Sanders deserves to make a whole lot of money.
Oh, of course.
But that's just, again, the big name, right?
Yeah.
Look, and I've said this in college basketball. Look, if your goal every year, at least most years, is to get the best recruits, Penny Hardaway's your guy. He always gets high-level recruits.
Yeah.
But do you win? Fuck all? No. And that's what, far, Deion Sanders.
And we'll move on to the next topic, but I'm going to make a very controversial one, and my boy Zach Smith's not going to like this. Ryan Day, to me, is the most fucking overrated coach in America. You're at Ohio State. You haven't beat Michigan in several years, and you have yet to get over the hump and win a natty. And you're at Ohio State. You replaced Urban Meyer, who went 10-0 his first year on sanctions after leaving Florida. Like, Urban Meyer went 10-0 on a team that could not participate in a bowl game his very first year, but it's not even on record. No one even talks about it. And then he goes on and wins natties there and never lost to Michigan there. Or maybe one, I don't think he lost to Michigan. But anyway, maybe once. I don't know. I don't think he did. But then Ryan Day has continued to be hyped up as this godsend to Urban Meyer. And what has he won there? Nothing. Like, in my opinion, I thought next year, if Harbaugh would have stayed and Harbaugh beat him again and Michigan went on, I thought they would have fired Day next year if Harbaugh. But Harbaugh left, in my opinion, saved Ryan Day a stay of execution. I believe Ryan Day gets another year now because Harbaugh left.